Hello everyone, this is another Design with Me video, and today is going to be a little bit different because today I'm going to redesign a brand from scratch. Yeah, sounds like a big deal. This is something that I don't normally do, at least for YouTube, because it's always sounded very intimidating because it's a lot of work, research, like it sounds just too serious to create the entire video about it. But then I thought, like, why not? It's another challenge for me. Lately, I've been trying to notice what kind of brands I encounter in my day-to-day life, something that I'm using myself, but the branding of those products is not quite there yet. I mean, there is room for improvement. And one of such brands is La Moda. It is a footwear brand which mostly specializes in this alternative dark fashion, something that I'm really into. I own a couple of boots from them, which I really love and get a lot of compliments for. I checked out their Instagram. They're really big. They have 700,000 followers, but their branding, that needs to be changed. Let's be honest, because it just looks so corporate. I think at least the logo and their website, it doesn't indicate their style at all, not even a hint. I've been trying to find the elements of their branding across their platforms like their Instagram, TikTok and their website, and I haven't found any consistency, if you know what I mean. Like, if they promote something, they always use different fonts, different colors. To be fair, I really like their photography style. It's really trendy, edgy, and at the same time looks really cool. But again, there's not much consistency in this either. So I decided to redesign this brand. Ideally, they would need a new banner for their website. As you can see, it's pretty basic. It doesn't look as cool as their photography. It looks like they did it just very quickly in Canva. Well, no offense to Canva. I mean, they could do it anywhere else, any other program. But what I mean is done it like really fast in the last minute. We can do better than this. And also their logo ideally would be to redesign their website and to make it just a little bit more personalized to their style, more authentic and less generic. Also, their gift card looks like they forgot to add design to it. They just put an empty picture, added a gradient, and that's all. I think it could look a lot more interesting than this, obviously. But obviously we have to start with fundamentals such as logo, brand typography, brand colors, brand color palette, photography style, graphics and stuff like that, and only after that we can design some other deliverables. So in this video I'm going to be focusing on this basic fundamental stuff, and in the next one, based on what I've done this time, I'm going to be designing a website, a banner. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to design the entire website, but at least a banner. So let's just jump right in. Okay, and we're going to start with research. The most exciting part. No, it's not, but it's necessary. If you want to design something that's actually applicable to a brand, you need to take your time to find as much information about it as possible. A little bit of a backstory about this brand. Basically, they're supplying unique shoes, loud, creative and bold. So what they are focusing on, inclusivity, but on their website, if you see, it's only women's feet, or at least people who look like women. So I'm not sure they are actually going to introduce other genders here, or are they gonna stay only with their female audience? And so it's a UK based brand. They started in 2017. We are working towards adding larger sizes and creating new designs. So maybe it's more like for queer people, but not for just straight men. Conscious fashion. So it's a vegan friendly brand. I think that's pretty important. Forever friendly. I guess they're trying to say that they're focusing on community, these forever friendly, and that they are really quick to respond. Alright, and this is their current branding, like I already showed. And actually for their photography as well, it's pretty simple. I mean, you can make it a lot more stylish. Actually, yeah, this is pretty good that they demonstrate the product really clearly. On this, they have really good lighting, all the pictures are bright enough. But actually this picture is not great in terms of white on white. They're almost blending. And the fonts, it looks so generic. It looks like just a basic feminine brand from 2015. when it was really popular to use this really thin fonts with all caps. Now it's not that trendy anymore because it gives this minimalist and corporate vibes. And let's quickly take a look at their Instagram. Yeah, if I just took a look at their profile picture, I would never guess what this brand is about. But just take a look at how cool their pictures are. Like, even this is very stylish to do it on black background. It's pretty simple, but I would probably make the text a bit more interesting. This is pretty standard 4th of July. It's not branded at all. Okay, and based on that information, I've created a user persona, which is like an example of a typical customer, and it gives you a lot clear idea of the customer behavior rather than just vaguely describe and target audience. Somebody named Taylor Morgan, 25 years old, female, so she's pretty creative. She lives in urban flat share with friends in East London. Yeah, ChatGPT helped me to create all of that, by the way. Otherwise, it would have taken many years longer. She frequently attends alternative music gigs, fashion events, and art exhibitions, because you need to think where they would wear these kind of shoes. Yeah, she posts her outfits on Instagram, probably. Okay, goals and motivations to stand out, to inspire others, express identity. Also, they support inclusivity. Personality traits, pain points, that's another interesting one. Limited availability. Prefers unique designs, but dislikes overly expensive luxury items. Yeah, so it needs to be affordable, because I'm assuming that based on their price range. So it's like £100 per pair. She shops primarily online. And frequency, not that frequent. Struggles to find shoes that balance durability with style. That's another issue. Yeah, when there are some cheap brands which are great in design, but the durability is really bad. And favorite brands, yeah, these are pretty much competitors, like Doll's Kill, Demonia, New Rock, Dr. Martens. Dr. Martens is not that alternative, to be honest, but I think a lot of girls, women like Taylor, would buy something from Dr. Martens. They are very, very famous, and especially if you need at least one pair of quality piece. 3 main types of interaction with La Moda would be Instagram, La Moda's website, and email newsletter. And I forgot one more. Shame on me. It's TikTok, of course. So yeah, we need to take that into account. In the next step, I'm gonna create a mind map, which is a really helpful tool to organize all my thoughts and identify the right keywords. I'm just writing down the name of the brand at the center, and then I create these branches radiating outward from that word that represent related topics, anything that comes to my mind that's related to this brand. And sometimes it gives me some ideas that I haven't thought of. After I've done with making a mind map, I'm always trying to select the most important keywords that I'm going to be focusing on. And yeah, I highlighted them with the marker. Trendy, expressive, edgy, and friendly, and relatable, I would also highlight. So those are the key ideas we need to demonstrate. And the next thing I'm going to do is to identify the keywords with this really simple, like this or that quiz. Okay, traditional or progressive? It's more progressive. Accessible. Well, it's not too accessible. Corporate or friendly? Definitely friendly. Maybe just a little bit towards fun, but not too much of it. Definitely bold. Rather simple, but not too simple, not minimalist. Urban or natural? Definitely city. Disruptive. I think dynamic. Into this brand, realistic or idealistic? Realistic. Extravagant. Maybe a little bit more elegant than sporty. Casual, of course. Modern. So I would probably lean towards grey. Feminine. Okay. Yeah, these are my keywords. And the next step is, of course, creating a mood board. But before creating an official mood board, I always create a Pinterest board where I collect everything that might be related to it. Yeah, as you can see, I added some photography that kind of represents the vibe, some posters, a lot of type. Yeah, I really like this custom sort of gothic, spiky typography. I would like to do something like that. But this is quite a lot. To make it a bit more clear and precise, I'm creating a mood board in Illustrator. Then I'm creating a few rectangles that are going to be clipping masks for my images. I'm not sure how many I want to create. I think 12 horizontal format. Yeah, I think 12 is okay. And now I'm gonna drag images from Pinterest to here, but I'm limited by only 12, whereas here I have 116. I definitely need photography style. I think I could use maybe this one and this one. I really like this really edgy one, and also it has some color in it. So at first I'm just assembling all the images around the mood board, and then I'm gonna be editing them inside. Okay, this is the photography style. Then typography, I've got quite a lot of that. I found some packaging that could be suitable for our brand, even though it's not that the most important element, but it's still pretty important because every pair of shoes is packed in a box. So it would be nice to design it. Like, it's a lot easier to find packaging for skincare brands, for coffee shops, the takeaway cups, something like that, but not for footwear brand or even fashion brand. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm gonna put those images inside of this mood board. I just wanted something a bit different, maybe something like that. We could use that as imagery inspiration. This has a really nice flourishes. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Okay, I'm gonna switch those two. I mean, they are not particularly in the same color scheme or the same style. They are still pretty different, but you can feel the general vibe for this brand. And yeah, the last thing that's left to do is to create a color scheme in the center. Like, let's just say it's the dominant color, and maybe 2 or 3 more. Let's just say 3. Maybe it will be like dark red, like burgundy. I think it would work really nicely. Then another color I'm thinking could be light pink, like dirty pink kind of thing, because they have quite a lot of light pastel pink shoes in this really cute style. So that could work as a secondary color. Yeah, and the third could be either another dark color, something like brownish, or actually I like this red more, of a colder tone. Yeah, I think that makes more sense. Or burgundy. Okay, let's keep it burgundy. Okay, and the fourth color is gonna be either something dark, brownish, or something light, like beige. It's a good question. What should it be? I think that would be gray with brown. Yeah, as you can see, it's really bold and edgy, at the same time feminine, but not that cute kawaii feminine with pastel pink colors. It's more about dark, deep red. I'm still debating if it's gonna be this kind of red or a little bit more with a pink undertone. But for now, I'm sticking with this one. Let's see how it works. A lot of spiky elements. Perhaps it's gonna be something based on black letter font. But at the same time, the photography style is pretty natural, desaturated, and this effect of flash. At the same time, the contrast should be pretty decent. It's not that soft and dreamy as you've probably seen. It's pretty popular for some other brands. This is pretty much the direction I'm going to. If I change something, that's fine. It's not set in stone rules that I have to follow. Now the fun part is the actual design process. I'm gonna start with the logo. I'd like to do some custom typography. As you could guess, something like this, or like paying here, like some sharp, edgy, maybe black letter, maybe not, something gothic related font. but also customized a lot. And my first sketches I'm gonna do by hand on a piece of paper, a bit old-fashioned in that sense. Then I'll switch to Illustrator. So yeah, and I just started sketching different versions of a logo. Just something that comes to my mind. I was primarily focusing on typographic logo. I wasn't really thinking about a logo mark, like any sort of imagery icon. I would like this logo to be focused on type. And I thought by drawing it by hand, it would be easier to create all these decorative flourishes, all these curvy lines, and to explore, like to extend every letter in any possible way, because I've got a lot more freedom when I'm drawing by hand. But there are still a lot of things that you can't do by hand, and you need a computer. I spent about a couple of hours on it. I'm trying not to be too perfectionist in that, because this process can really take up to 1,000 hours, 10,000 hours, just as long as you want. There's always room for improvement, for refinement, but I'm trying to keep my sketches really rough, not detailed, not perfect. I need them just to demonstrate an idea and then move on. Yeah, I think that was enough. I think I want to continue my exploration of the right logo on my computer, but first I need to choose from my hand-drawn sketches which ones I like the most, and I will probably try to recreate in Illustrator, or maybe it'll be like a merge of something that I will find on Illustrator, and I will make it in a very similar way to my hand-drawn sketch, something like that. So I think I'm gonna go with these three. Yeah, and now we head into Adobe Illustrator to continue our search for the perfect logo. Well, maybe not perfect, because we're not perfectionists. I'm trying not to be a perfectionist. So yeah, the first thing I do in Illustrator is I'm just searching for all the possible fonts that could be suitable for this logo, and they will show me different directions of what I could go to. And these are the variations that I prefer, at least from my list of the fonts I have in my library. And yeah, they're pretty different. So as you can see, I can go to very different directions. So I'm just choosing fonts for now, and later I will think of some manipulations that I can do with them. It's mostly something serif. Yeah, also I was trying to find something with spikes. I think this jazzier would work really well. Also, I tried a black letter and even one sans serif font, which is Arial Narrow. Because this brand is still trying to be modern, I think we could go that direction as well. But somehow I need to make it with a gothic or edgy twist. And okay, I think that's enough of fonts. At this point, I need to stop and choose, I don't know, like 2 or 3, which seem like the most suitable for this brand, for the logo. And I think I would choose these 3. Yeah, I think black letter would definitely be in this list, because it's very much suitable for the brand. It's very gothic, like what can be more gothic than a black letter font. So yeah, and now I will try to make some twists and make them a little bit more adjusted to the brand, like to make some manipulations. This will be sort of a merge between my hand-drawn sketches and my digital sketches, because I can clearly see that, for example, this jazzier font is very similar to my hand-drawn sketches. Or maybe I will try another one. So at this stage, I will try to do both at the same time to make something interesting with the fonts that I found in Illustrator. And at the same time, I will try to recreate off what I drew by hand, if that makes sense. So for recreating my hand-drawn sketches, I had to find another font that I didn't include in these 3, which is gonna be Big Castle on Medium. I think it's the most suitable for this case, and I'm just gonna add some spiky details like stars and some manipulations with letters. And yeah, that way we can recreate one of the logos from my sketches, and another one, which is also from my sketches, I'm recreating with the font here. So again, I'm exploring that direction, the ideas that I already have, but I'm not gonna refine them completely. I need to develop them to the point where I can see the idea and what it would look like, that I would have pretty clear understanding of what it's going to be like. But at the end, I just need to choose one to refine it completely. And we got to that point when I have to do that. So it's gonna be just one of these three. To be honest, I like all of them. Again, they are just sketches. They're not completely ready logos. I just need to choose. Okay. And I think I'd really like this one because of all the decorative lines, and it just seems so mysterious and gothic to me. Something a bit more authentic and unique, hard to replicate, even though some logo experts would say that it's actually a bad thing, that logo is supposed to be easy to replicate, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it depends on a brand. Some logos are not supposed to be easily recreated. For example, it's not that easy to recreate Coca-Cola, but I don't think they're trying to be easily replicatable. So yeah, and in this case, I think for Gothic logos, it's not the most important thing that it's possible to recreate. I think even the opposite, the more unique and complex they are, sometimes it's even better. So yeah, I don't mind all these little details. I think it looks really cool even on its own. But at the same time, I get that the current logo is very simple and there might be a reason for it. I think between these two it's really hard to choose. I'm not choosing this one because it looks a little bit old-fashioned to me, like a bit too classic, considering that this brand is trying to be more modern and trendy. So I think because we're concentrating on making it modern, for that reason, it makes more sense to choose a simpler version. Yeah, I know that it would be cool to have all these little details, these nice curvy lines, but it may not be suitable for different cases of the use of this logo. So I'm leaning towards this one, which is a little simpler version. And I think it makes more sense. It's a combination of modern style and at the same time very gothic and edgy. So you don't see anything traditional or old-fashioned here. Well, maybe just the fact that it's a serif font, but I think you can definitely feel this modern twist to it. So that's why I think that would be my final choice. So now I just need to refine it to make the stars more even and like symmetrical. Well, they're not symmetrical, but you know what I mean, just refined. And yeah, I'm gonna quickly do that. You will probably see just speeded up version, just like everything else. And another thing I will try to do is adding a descriptor of what kind of brand that is. I haven't seen a descriptor in their current branding. Maybe they have it for some deliverables, but I personally haven't seen it on their website or their Instagram. But I will try alternative footwear. I think that would be a really good choice. It's relatively short words and very clear and simple, so I think I would add that. Yeah, just need to choose the font as usual, the most fun and long process. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. Okay, and also another thing what I need to do is to create another version of this logo in a shorter form, like a monogram. I definitely need that for a favicon, which is a little icon that you see in your browser when you open a website. Right now they have LM, and I will try to make this monogram based on the full word, the logo that I've just designed. And as you can see, it wasn't really easy way to find it. I decided to switch to LA just to take the first two letters because it's a lot easier. But later I realized that there is a way to connect L and M together. So if that's a critical thing for them to use specifically L and M, if that was a real commission, I would be able to deliver that. Even though LA is easier to design, I think I can find a way to make LM work. So yeah, that's what I ended up with. These are the two versions of the logo, the primary and the secondary one. And now I wanna choose a photography style, which would also be included in the brand guideline, and at the same time apply this logo on it. So it's gonna meet two of my goals, which is to demonstrate a photography style and to see how the logo works with these photos, because I would assume on their social media they would use a lot of imagery like that. Photo plus a logo on top. So yeah, I'm just choosing 6 pictures that demonstrate that style. Yeah, 3 of them I took from their Instagram because I needed the actual pictures of their shoes. And also I'm trying to base this imagery on the color palette that I already created, so it will all be aligned within the same color scheme. And now I'm applying the logo in its different variations to each of these pictures. If we imagine that we need to post it on social media, for example, or as a banner, like an ad banner on some websites, or maybe on their own website. Also, they need a lot of banners. So yeah, that's what I ended up with. I think this logo works pretty well with their imagery style. Yeah, I took 3 pictures from their Instagram and 3 pictures from Unsplash that I thought they fit this style and they represent the vibe really well. So yeah, we have the brand color palette, photography style. The last thing is left to do is to choose the brand fonts. So I'm gonna do that quickly. I mean, you will see that I'm doing this quickly, but it actually took me a bit. And yeah, that's what I ended up with. This is gonna be the font for the titles. This is for the body text. And in the next episode, when I'm going to be designing the banner and social media templates, I think it's very possible that that wouldn't be enough and I would need more fonts than these 2. We'll see. I think I can also use this big Caslon that I used for the logo, and obviously white, I don't remember the exact name, the font of the Descript alternative footwear. I think I could also use that, so I have at least 4. And now I think we're pretty much done with the first part of this branding process. So I created the logo, the mood board. Well, the first thing that I had to mention is the mood board, then the logo, typography style, color palette, photography style. I would also design some graphic elements, but I may do it in the next episode. Stay tuned for that. And obviously some other essential deliverables I'm gonna design next time. So that was my version of a new visual identity for La Moda. Don't forget that it's only the first part. I'm really excited to design all the other assets for them. If you have other ideas of what other brands I could redesign, let me know down below. Also, let me know what you think of this one, whether you like it or not. Please share your thoughts. I'm really curious to know. I hope you enjoyed this whole process. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!